Hello viewers, today I have a Honeywell HT-900 to clean and service. Let's take a look at the fan more closely and we can see how dirty it is. It's probably got quite a few hours on it. Okay, I will set it up now and give it a test run. Okay, here's low. It's moving air, but not quite as much as my other one does. Medium and high. It's got a notable, like a bearing ticking sound to it. And I'll switch it off now. Spin down time is pretty short, so we'll have to oil it. Alright, so I've actually never taken one of these apart before, so this will be a learning process as we go. But I'm going to start with the screws. I think there's 6. Okay, whatever. I believe there's 6 screws along the outside here. I'm going to take those off first. That's all the screws, so okay, that's pretty easy. It's kind of weird, it's a cone like that. I've never seen that before. This, I think I'm just going to wash this off in the bathtub. I would hope this just kind of pulls off of here. It would appear to not be pulling off of there. Okay. Looks like it's got something, some sort of a mechanism which is holding it on to the shaft. So I'm going to see if I can undo that thing and pull the blade off. After much more finagling than should be necessary, I was able to get this piece off, which I believe is what was holding the blade on the shaft. I'm going to try to pull this off again. Ah, that was much easier. What the purpose of that dumb thing is, I really have no clue, but what I ended up doing was I was able to put the screwdriver in where there's that little indentation there, so there's a little bit of space. I put that in there and I pried it off, and it kind of broke, you know, part of the thing off, but it's a dumb, useless piece anyways. So at least now we can service the motor. I was kind of hoping this whole thing, the whole motor assembly could come out, and it would, but because it's got that strain relief there, probably is going to be more hassle than it's worth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the blade, I'm going to wash it off in the bathtub. I'm going to take off the stand if it comes off. It may not come off. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it does. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is, because I got to take the motor out to oil it, so alright, let's take the motor off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to remove this whole assembly. And they soldered that together. Fantastic. So I have to, what I was thinking of doing is just taking out the motor and washing the whole thing out with water, but if that's soldered together, that's kind of a nuisance. Well, since I think it'll take a lot less time but to unsolder it and resolder it, I'm just going to do that. Okay, I couldn't get this to unsolder any reasonable amount of time, so I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to put a piece of black tape over it to keep, no, for two reasons: to keep the moisture out, and then also to indicate which wires go to which leads on the motor. Now, given that this is an old plastic fan, I don't really consider the polarity to be, the polarity to be a major concern, but just for all intents and purposes, that's what I'm going to do. In this way, I'll seal this off so the water won't get in. This way now I can just put the whole thing in the bathtub and wash it out. Because to try to clean it with any other way is going to take more time than I want to spend on a China fan. Okay. Okay, now I can take this whole assembly out of there, and now this is pretty safe to just rinse this off in the bathtub. So it'll make for a pretty easy clean. We'll just wash off all those 3 parts here, and we'll dust off. Okay, now I'm going to dump some lubrication in the motor. I'm going to use Zoom spout as usual, and put a couple drops up here in the front. And I'm going to put a couple drops in between here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the rear bearing. And I'll put some in between. quickly throw the blade back on here, and you can see the spin down time is quite a bit improved. Okay, so here's all the parts that can get completely wet. We have plastic guard, plastic blade, this component, and the base. And I think all this can get relatively wet. I've got all the connections sealed up in there, so I'm just going to wash this out with water. I think it'll be the easiest way to clean it. Okay, so all the parts are washed off. I used real hot water, and it cleaned everything off really well. I don't think this was used in a kitchen or something like that where you get grease. It was just dust. So it came off relatively easily. And this is really a huge time saver when it comes to things like these guards, because there's really no good way to get the dust out from inside those slats. That doesn't take a long time, so very efficient way to clean the guards at least. Okay, now I'm going to use a vacuum to blow out the water that's, you know, all in the slats there, because again it would take more time than it's worth to wash it off with a cloth. This will blow it out relatively quickly and easily. You could also use an air compressor, but this has no charge time, so it's a little bit faster in this case. Okay, here we are back downstairs, and this is cleaned up really nicely. Looks really good now. So I'm going to begin to reassemble it. I'm going to start by making sure the spin down time is still good. See if I want to add any more oil. Nope, I'd say that's good. So now, in the process of rewiring this, I'll bring this a little bit closer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the tape here. So this was the blue wire. So I'll set that aside, and I'm going to strip this out a little bit more. Okay, having some problems here. What in the... What? Oh, I know what the problem is. This is a hassle. Okay. Alright. Fantastic. So, that's stripped out. I'm going to take the wire on the motor here. Let's get that in view, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut that off and strip this. I'm not going to resolder it back on, just because I don't see why that's necessary. at all. I mean, this is not a thing that ever moves, and if I want to clean it again in the future, I want to be able to take it off. So I'm just going to wire nut it, and that will be plenty sufficient. It's probably a little bit too long. Okay. Alright. So I will connect first the blue wire. Does that really ruin the shot? Yeah, it kind of does. But I really can't see without it, so unfortunately we're just going to have a ruined video shot. Actually, I guess that's not too bad. Now, another dumb thing here is that there appears to be a knot in this wire, which is making it excessively more difficult to work with. So I'm going to undo that. There we go. I have a fair bit more slack to work with. And I will reconnect these wires now. Okay, so I just discovered the difficulty I was having was because the strippers were on the wrong setting. So just to redeem myself, I'm going to do this connection again so you can see that I can in fact strip wires. Having the right tools is always important, but using them properly is equally as valuable. Okay, as you can see, that went with relative ease. That's how it's supposed to go. Yeah, sorry you can't see this. I don't know how else to really position this because it's just not ideal. Anyways. The wire nut spoiled. Erg. Now I gotta do something else here. I hate these dumb, cheap Chinese wire nuts. So actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Is, I'm just gonna use this blue one that I have here because I don't really want to hunt down another one for this project. Alright, that sound that's coming from that other fan is really irritating. Oh, this dumb wire nut's spoiled also. For crying out loud. Okay, I found a wire nut that's equal to or equivalent enough to the original. Stuff this on here. I will not turn it that many times because obviously that causes a problem. Alright, you know what? This is really becoming an aggravation now. And I've wired plenty of things together before, and I've never had this many problems. I guess this is what happens when you're working with Chinese equipment. Let's try this one. Why is this just not working? Alright, what is the deal here? If this doesn't work, I'm going to have a fit. Finally. Well, that probably isn't going to, fit in the thumb compartment or something. That was aggravating. Okay, now I'm going to slide the switch back in there. Let's see if I can get you a better angle. Maybe if I do it like this. Although now this is right in front of me is extremely awkward to work with. There's no way I would have pulled off the wiring like this, but I suppose this will do for this portion of the video. So these wires kind of just, the wire nuts went up in here like this. Get in here. They went up in the corner here, like. Alright, this is ridiculous. This is one of those cases where you do something to save time, and the end result is you end up wasting more time trying to undo what you did to save time. Very frustrating situation. But that's exactly where we're at right now with this Dobie thing. I think that's just about as good as it's going to get. It seems like that's a ridiculous way to put it together, but I guess that's just how it goes. Unless it goes, does it go like that? I have to look back in the video. No, I can't. Gotta watch the video. Okay, it does go like this. It's kind of dumb on a variety of levels, but so be it, I guess. These are the stupidest size screws in the world. None of the dumb drivers fit them properly. Now this one fits pretty good. Judging by the date code on the motor, it looks like this one is from 2011. So probably hasn't been oiled or cleaned its entire life, so the fact that it's only locking up now after, 5 years or so is not bad. I'm going to put the blade on now. I'm not going to even bother with that dopey thing, because realistically the blade's not going to come off. The force of the blade is going that way, so if anything's going to push itself back on the shaft, it's not going to come off. Alright, now I'm going to give it a test run. I didn't clean the dial. Have to go rinse it off in the sink. But I'll give it a test run, even with the dial being dirty. Okay, here we go. Here's speed 1. Whoops. 2 and 3. Running much better now. Fantastic. And now put the god back on.